This YouTube video is a video blog response to the many of the comments made from the Stand for Righteousness YouTube upload of 3 days ago. In 3 days, there's been almost 5,000 views. There's been almost 300 comments, many of them calling me a man of hate, homophobic, etc. I am number one, not homophobic. I'm number two, I don't hate the homosexual. In fact, I love homosexuals just the way I love all people. As a Christian, I'm commanded to love my neighbor as myself. But I want to speak further into what I call Mardi Gras anarchy. It's not so much about the rights or the privileges or the slandering of homosexuality. But I talk about shutting down Mardi Gras anarchy. And what I mean by that is the concepts of hyper-tolerance lead to anarchy. And we see that anarchy on the streets of Sydney on Mardi Gras night. I am told by those who have attended the Mardi Gras in previous years that there is more of the drug ecstasy passed around that night than any other night of the year. I've been there myself, praying and seeking to reach out to people there on the Mardi Gras night. And I've watched the 13, 14, 15-year-old teenage kids, drunk and paralytic. I've seen the violence. I've seen the results of the Mardi Gras. And the results are anarchy. The results are violence and alcoholism and all the things that we as a responsible society need to shut down. We are the guardians of the next generation. It is a known fact that the human brain does not develop fully in the areas of understanding the consequences of our actions and understanding the repercussions of our actions on others until the age of 25. It's one of the reasons that the licensing laws change of how many hours you have to do before you get a driver's license in New South Wales. It's why the insurance premiums change at the age of 25 for drivers, because it is a well-known, recognized psychological fact that this is part of the development of the human brain. Yet we are encouraging young people, teenagers, early 20s, to a place of sexual immorality, drunkenness, and consequently the testosterone alcohol mix tends towards violence. The estrogen alcohol mix tends towards the desire for intimacy. We now have one of the highest rates of teen pregnancy in the developed world. The homosexual and lesbian Mardi Gras is not just attended by homosexuals. It's attended by heterosexuals and homosexuals. But what it has become is a parade of live porn. What it has become is a flagrant exhibiting of rebellion and saying, we don't care what others think. Now, understand me clearly with hyper-tolerance. We all need tolerance from each other all the time. We all make mistakes. We all do things that we need the tolerance of others, and we need to give tolerance. But we don't tolerate drug taking. We don't tolerate drug pushing. We don't tolerate pedophiles. We don't tolerate behavior when the rights of certain individuals impinge upon the rights and the benefit of other individuals and society as a whole. Understanding that, we tolerate things to the point of equality and justice for society as a whole. Now, the sociological impact, the moral impact, the social impact of the Mardi Gras on Sydney is easy to see. It's easy to see the fruits and the effect they're having on the younger generation. Why am I calling for the shutting down of Mardi Gras anarchy? It's because of the effect upon our children. I stand for the CDP as a guardian of tomorrow, as a guardian of this next generation, as a firm but loving hand, as CDP and Reverend Fred Nile has always been, a firm but loving hand to help those who don't understand the ramifications of their actions, the consequences of their actions on others. That is what Christianity is all about. It's about responsibility. It's about me loving you enough to say, this has gone far enough. And believe me, I don't hate homosexuals. I love homosexuals. And I want to see homosexuals come to the same liberty and freedom and responsibility that I have. And I ask you as a community to consider the impact of what this Mardi Gras is having. I know that there are people out there supporting the homosexual and lesbian Mardi Gras. When you really think about the consequences of what's happening, the fallout of what's happening from the Mardi Gras, that you yourselves will question, is this something that should escalate? Is this something that should continue? I myself am not throwing stones. It's not my place to throw stones. Let him who is without sin cast the first stone. I used to be a sex addict. I was molested at the age of 9, and that continued to the age of 17. It put in my life seeds of a sexual addiction so deep that it took many years and a great amount of understanding and prayer to break off my life. But I stand free today. Not only do I understand what it is like to be driven by a sexual addiction, because it's a horrible thing, but I also understand the devastation and destruction it can do on an individual's family, on an individual's friends, on an individual's relationships, because I've experienced that myself. And I don't want other people to go through that destructive process that I've experienced. And out of love, I say to you, we've got to stop this escalation of sexual immorality before it destroys us. I'm sure you know that the Roman Empire and many other great empires, what marked their end is their decline into moral depravity. We've got to stop Sydney's decline into moral depravity. We have to stop Australia's decline into moral depravity. We as Christians, we as the Christian majority, the 67% who call themselves Christians on the Australian census, are concerned for where our nation's going. But we need to shut down the gay Mardi Gras, because if we continue, where are we going to be in 2020, 2030, 2040? The projections are frightening. The projections for our children are frightening. I stand for righteousness, and I stand for our futures, the future of our children and our children's future. I stand to mobilize for our children's future. Will you stand with me? God bless you. See you at Martin Place.